Okay. I swear this has face cam. There we go. There I am. What is up, dudes? Welcome to the Dank. This episode's extra special. I'm three new things out right now. One of them's the new characters that came out in the banner. Another one is these earphones I'm using right now. Hopefully you guys can hear me clearly. I'm gonna crank the volume down because I'm sure the game is pretty loud as well, and I don't want you guys to have trouble hearing me over the game. The other thing I'm testing is a new recording app. As you can see, my face cam is much clearer than before. I'm using a DU recorder. Before I was using AZ recorder. Much better so far. And I'm supposed to have like a background behind this this actual recording that you're seeing of my device. One more thing I want to show you guys. So where is it? There it is. 4 videos on the work, and it's been processing that stuff the whole day. I guess I made the mistake of editing 4 videos at the same time, and that's why it's taking forever. They're all competing with each other to finish first. Some of them are long, like half an hour, so that also makes it take quite a while to finish. I'm hoping I could pump out 2 of them tonight and another 2 tomorrow. We'll see. Without further ado, let's jump right in. I don't know why I'm in PvP mode right now. Because what we're talking about now is the... What? Nah, don't do this now when I'm streaming, please. Thank you. Alright, the banner characters. Yes. Because they did add some interesting characters. I looked at them at first and I'm like, what is this? I didn't want to really pull because I didn't like anything other than Super Saiyan Bardock, right? He seemed like the only guy worth it. But then I noticed, and this is probably the biggest reason I didn't want to pull on this banner, is this guy. Why did they put him here? It doesn't it doesn't do any justice. Doesn't do this game any justice. Ginyu is alright. He got buffed. Like, look at that, 328 power level. Look at Super Saiyan Vegeta, 283. How is Super Saiyan Vegeta weaker than Ginyu? That don't even make sense. Whatever. Yeah, the EX characters. Here we go. Super Saiyan Vegeta. Okay, so he's just a regular Super Saiyan. The cool thing about Super Saiyan Vegeta is, basically, if you didn't get SSG3 Goku, and you do get Super Saiyan Vegeta, he's pretty much like a weaker substitute. Right? He buffs Super Saiyans instead. Okay, so he's a bit different. He might be more applicable to a fusion team, because I'll go into more detail on that, but SSG Bardock, Super Saiyan Bardock, is perfect for a fusion team. He goes well with Gogeta, he goes well with Gotenks. Super Vegeta goes well with him, and Super Vegeta goes well with Gotenks and with Gogeta. So I'll definitely go into more detail, break that down. But first I want to look at the EX characters, because they actually seemed more interesting to me than the other characters, aside from SSG Bardock, who I'll cover last. So right from the get-go, Super Saiyan Trunks' team, his power level is comparable to Bardock's. Interesting. He has less health than Bardock, and he has less defenses than Bardock, but he has more attacks in both categories too. So where Bardock is weak in blast damage, this guy is relatively strong in strike damage, and his main fort is blast attack. Now, this guy is also a future character, so he actually works with black. So if you want to run a black team, this is the guy you run with it, alright? This is the other reason why. Draw a blast card next. All enemies are switch restricted to 5 timer counts. The only other character that has this wording is Bardock. His main ability is the same thing, except it's 10 timer counts, and he gets, I think it was 40% more strike attack. But yeah, he's pretty much like Bardock. He can lock someone in just for a shorter period of time, which is really good for an EX character. And it's about time they made an EX character that has that ability. balance it out a bit more. Because everybody should be able to get this character, to be honest. Tag, Hybrid Saiyan, Blast Attack. So that's the one drawback to Super Saiyan Trunks. If you do use him on a black base team, he's selfish. Fair enough. You could also throw him on a hybrid team where he's not as selfish. If you took the top tier hybrid team that's well known right now, you could basically replace Red Trunks with this Trunks, and he would benefit the team just as much for blast damage. And on top of that, he has Bardock-like abilities that benefit, and he has way more damage than Red Trunks, despite being just as tanky as Red Trunks, which is the funny thing. I have a 5-star Red Trunks. This 3-star Super Saiyan Trunks Teen EX is just as tanky as him, despite being 2 stars less. Doesn't add up, but whatever. That's the way they want to take this power creep. I personally don't mind it. I really want to get this character in the daily summons. I'm still not going to attack this banner just yet. There's more reason to, but I'm not going to do it just yet. Just because I'm going to wait, see if I get this character by chance, see if I get SSG Bardock by chance. If I don't, then it would make sense to probably dump some crystals into it, but yeah, if I do happen to get them, there's not really a point. It's not like I have, as a free-to-play, it's not like I have enough crystals to keep going until I get one of these guys to 5-star. But I will tell you what the 5-star abilities are in case that you are interested in actually paying for crystals in this game. What exactly will you be paying for to get? I'll cover that for sure. Now, I did want to... Where is he? There we go. Super Saiyan 2 Goku. I did want to look at this guy's info on Game Press because I'm not sure what he gets at 5-star. I guess I'll do that at the end. So I'll cover you at the last. I'll cover Super Saiyan Bardock second last. And next up, I suppose we'll talk about Vegeta. So I said this guy's like Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Not because his Z ability, of course. His Z ability makes more sense on a black or fusion-based team. Actually, it can work even in a hybrid team, technically, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend running him in a hybrid compared to Little Gohan. So draw a special move arts card next. Pretty good. Restore ki by 30. That's also pretty good. So he gives himself special, and then he restores his ki. So he's most likely going to be able to pull off the special after doing that. Let's look at the special. Call Flash, deal major impact. So it's pretty much like movie Blue Goku's kit. The only main difference being that his main ability actually restores ki, whereas movie Goku's doesn't. Okay. Let's look at his unique. So Otherworld Warrior, again, makes him work better with a fusion team. So if you're running Gogeta, if you're running Paikuhan, this guy will work with them. There may be other world characters like Janemba, perhaps. And then anti-regeneration, again, like SSG3. Okay, key form of attack, 20% blast damage inflicted. So that's the main thing that makes him like SSG3. He's a new and pretty strong purple unit for Saiyan / Super Saiyan teams. As you can see, that's his power. It's pretty decent. And he counters regen characters, just like Super Saiyan 3 Goku. He is a blast attack, unlike Super Saiyan 3 Goku. And his defenses are relatively low. Okay. Next up, Super Saiyan Trunks screen. So I kind of feel like this guy has some applications to Super Saiyan team or to a black team because he is future and he is Super Saiyan. So he could work with Blue Bardock, Super Saiyan Bardock. He can work with black. And he locks characters. That's really useful. That's probably the most useful feature he has is just a character lockdown because being able to Rising Rush the character of your choosing with your own character of your choosing. Yeah, that's a unique ability. Only 3 characters in the game have it so far. Next up, we'll look at Chilled here. So as you can see, his stats are pretty good. Not as good as Janemba's, of course, but he does have a lot of HP. He does have a lot of defense. His damage is where he's lacking. He's below average in terms of SP damage. Of course, it makes sense. Even the yellow Super Saiyan 2 Goku that came out has more damage than him. His key move is, it's all right. See, unfortunately, since I don't actually have him and I can't test him just yet, I don't know how much health that restores. I don't know if it's really worth that 24, right? Um, I'd recommend checking out the DBL Reddit or their Discord and ask there. Someone might have the information how much exactly he restores based on his stats. You see, he has this much HP, so I'm assuming that he restores a percentage of that every tick. So just ask on there. One of them will probably tell, or someone there will probably know. His Z ability is funky, right? At Z ability 1, he only gets 10% HP to Lineage of Evil. It's lousy. It's like a hero character, Z ability. However, if you actually do get him to 5-star, it takes a huge leap to 18% max base health. And he still does get the health regen. Now, the health regen is kind of useless in a Frieza Force team, but I guess it's kind of hinting that they're going to come out with the Frieza Force character. Is this guy Frieza Force? No, they're going to come out with the Lineage of Evil, Lineage of Evil character that will heal their allies. Could be Frieza's dad. Who knows? Greatest space pirate. This is probably... No. Beware the Golden Saiyan. So this is probably the most interesting ability he has, because basically, if you're running a Super Saiyan team, so Super Saiyan Bardock and the characters that go with him, Gogeta, Gotenks, I'll give you more of that info later, but that team basically can't do damage for 15 timer counts. So you're basically trying to play a stall game once you knock out Chilled. That's very interesting. I'm interested in actually trying to stall out after knocking out a Chilled with the Super Saiyan team, just to see how it is, because that's definitely is fun. So this is other unique ability. Nothing too grand about it. He just gets some buffs when he has more health than the opponent. And it seems like that's only gonna really happen if you get him to 5-star. So overall, it seems like a character that's only really worth their difficulty to acquire if you happen to get them to 5-star. Otherwise, their Z ability is mediocre, and their unique also hand in hand with their main ability or Z ability becomes kind of mediocre. Speaking of main ability, this is his main ability. It's a really, really good buff. He can probably dodge you twice in a row if he plays right. Same with any Lineage of Evil character, so other Frieza characters will have this buff too. And on top of that, it's kind of funny because you have that Vanishing Gauge buff only lasting 15 timer counts, whereas the damage and cost reduction buff lasts 30. It's 15 timer counts to unleash that ability. And his Death Ball, deal major explosion damage, 70% chance to inflict paralyze. Everybody who has Chilled is definitely teaching this to Shallot. Right, that's a really, really good debuff. It's basically forcing your opponent to switch characters. And there's his stats. Oh, I didn't even notice this before. So he gets a Paralyze strike card. I think that's the first of its kind. So he has 2 different Paralyze moves. His main ability, or his super attack, which has 70% chance to proc, and the strike card, Paralyze. Okay. Next up, Super Saiyan Bardock. Alright, now this is probably my favorite character that came out in the banner. The one I'm hoping to get the most, basically, because I do want to build a team around him. I already have a fusion team. He would go perfect with it. Only characters I'm missing to pull it off really are IT Goku and this guy. So I really do hope I get him. He's also the best blue character, and for that reason, and based on the fact that at 5-star he buffs strike defense and strike attack, he's undoubtedly the best blue Saiyan unit overall. And you're going to want to run him in a Saiyan team, whether you're going Super Saiyan, Saiyan team, or just regular Saiyan team with Bardock, SSG3, Majin Vegeta, etc. So he's definitely like a must-have blue unit for Saiyan teams at the moment. Right? He's an upgrade compared to Fist Goku, to Movie Goku. He's an upgrade compared to Spirit Bomb Goku. A hell of a good character when it comes to buffing from the bench. Outside of the bench, based on his unique abilities, right, you're basically going to want to run him with Gogeta or other Super Saiyan 1 characters, because he gets a buff just for them being on the team. It's a really good buff too. It has no countdown limit based on when he gets played. He just gets it right away, and it stays with him until you lose that other Super Saiyan character in your team. So he gets more damage, more key recovery, and his costs go down for his regular moves. And on top of that, he buffs when he's switched out. It's only a 15 timer count buff, but it's really good because his critical damage just... Anyone you switch to will have ridiculous critical damage at that point. And also they get 20% more regular damage. And I'm assuming that there's a multiplication, like this 20% damage comes first, and then the critical multiplier applies after that. So, and then you, on top of that, you get 70% more critical damage. You're going to do a lot of critical damage if you crit this, of course. It's not like you get 100% crit off just that. So his health is actually pretty average. His defenses are pretty average. His attacks are really good. His blast attack is, I'd say it's average among blast attack units, actually. But this is a melee unit, so it's definitely above average. It's similar. His stats are quite similar to Gogeta, actually, when it comes to his damage stats. Now, next up, his main ability and his super are golden. He's close to Gogeta in this sense as well, because he not only does he get an ultimate card, and on top of that have another ability activate, he gets increased draw card speed when he uses this ability. He also recovers 30 ki. Not as high as Gogeta's ki recovery, but still very unique ultimate. And it's his main ability does 3 things, just like Gogeta's does. So it's really good. This is gonna be a really high tier character. He's gonna age well. Revolt Pile also has a really good ability, 80% chance to inflict heavy bleed. This is better than Majin Vegeta Super. The downside is it is a close range move, and it does slow down the enemy's card draw speed as well, which is interesting. You don't really see a lot of abilities like that. And Rage Saiyan restores own health by 10% and cancels attribute downgrades. Now, this sounds nice, but look at the cost. That cost is high. Very high. Not sure it's worth it. There's probably better units in your team that you can use the green card on. I mean, it's better than using Gogeta's, I guess. Unless you use it situationally. Gogeta does have a pretty decent buff card if you do manage to pull it off. It's not the easiest thing to pull off. On the other hand, Gotenks, who loves green cards, is the perfect fodder for this card. So you pretty much can run Super Saiyan Bardock, Gotenks, and Gogeta. They all get the Super Saiyan buff. Bardock gets the Super Saiyan buff because their Gogeta and Gotenks are Super Saiyans. And all your green cards basically just go to Gotenks because his super attack will feint then. Or at least have a 70% chance to feint. That's really useful. As for the cards he gets, they're normal cards, and he gets one of each. Okay, next up, Super Saiyan 2 Goku. So I'm going to jump in to Game Press in a moment to see what this guy gets at 5 stars. But here's his stats. Relative tanky unit, like slightly above average defenses. Definitely above average health for sure. You get a strike and blast card. And as far as defense types go, his attacks are above average for sure, but they're not too high. I think my 4-star Majin Buu has just like slightly higher attacks than the Super Saiyan 2 Goku. So that said, yeah, he does have higher than average tank attack. The Super Kamehameha, nothing too special about that. Ultimate Power, similar story. It's like a really expensive special skill for what it does. It only increases 15% strike damage in particular, and it's 25 timer counts. That's not a shabby amount of time, and it cancels attribute downgrades. For an ability like that, you'd hope for something like 20-15 cost, but this is 24 cost, so he's probably not a character you're going to use special skill on. Alright, his main ability, also a little underwhelming. He only restores 30% health. I feel like they should have put like 40% health, just because this character, most people are going to compare him to Goku Black. And Goku Black's main ability is downright better than this one. No one can argue against that. He doesn't have as high of a heal per se, but he gets, even if he gets healed, he gets a 30% damage boost. If he doesn't get healed, he gets a 50% damage boost. That's ridiculous. This guy though only gets a 30% health recovery. If he had other health recovery moves, I guess it would make more sense. But because that's his only health recovery move, and it's only 30%, it does seem a little underwhelming. Kind of pulls this character away from being one of the top tier characters. He is selfish and only buffs yellow units for now. That's all I know, actually. I need to check on Game Press if that is accurate at 5 stars. Alright, so against Vegeta, which is funny because the only Vegeta people are going to be using at that point is the red one, he does more damage. You're probably not going to be attacking Vegeta with this character though, so I'm not sure what they were thinking with that unique ability. Cover sustains damage is actually pretty good. It is only 40%. Again, one of those things that make this character a little underwhelming. It would have not really made him a broken character if they just gave it 50%. But the thing that's nice about it is he does get 20% more damage, and that's more than all the other cover characters out there would gain from doing a cover switch. So that's that. I Yeah, so I'm just gonna do these 2 single free summons and the dailies, of course. And if I don't have SSG Bardock and the green trunks, then I will probably do a couple of multis. So you might be able to look forward to that. Otherwise, though, yeah, I'm not gonna bother pulling from this banner. It does have a couple of good fighters that you can get from it. Unfortunately, most of them are EX, so it should be pretty easy to get those. Now, like I promised. New tab. Come on. New tab. New tab. There we go. So this is the site I use to find out information about the new characters that get released. It's maintained by a third party, but they do a really good job of it. And when I'm trying to determine if a character is worth going for or running, I always check the site for their information first. I kind of didn't bother with SSG2 Goku just because I took a look at his stats or his abilities in game and I thought, nah, he's not gonna be that viable. He's not gonna age well either. He's gonna expire real quick. Team synergy. Yada yada. There we go. Yep, he nothing special at 5 stars. Just the same old buff. He actually no, I'm wrong. The buff to yellow characters jumps immensely when he gets to 5 stars. So he may age well on a yellow based team. How valid is a yellow based team? I wouldn't say too valid. It might do well against Regen and Android because Cell's a little outdated. It may even do well against Frieza Force unless they come out with a new red character. Well, of course, it'll do good against Frieza Force. Unless you happen to run Majin Vegeta with Ginyu, which is pretty good. That said, I don't see a lot of hope for this unit. And I'm personally hoping I do not get this character in the free SP summons. Because he probably will not see use at all. It's unfortunate, but yeah, that's the case. Anyways, check out the site for finding more info on your favorite characters. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you'll see the next 4 videos up soon. And stay awesome. Ciao.